you are an angry person.
No, I'm not at all.
Hang on. I haven't finished my thought, sir. I have not finished my thought.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this.
So
Edgar. Next week, the Ric and Edgar show.
Greg's enjoying this too much. Yeah.
that's why. And so I've noticed that we go from, well, there's no we, Kimosabi. It's just you.
Oh.
Breaking news, Greg quits.
Yes.
No.
For me, I'm more of like the front end of it.
I'm just making it up. Of a similar nature or character.
JMKast. JMKast.
But we get shocked often by Chris.
You Google my name, it always pulls up Ric Flair and Blackjack Mulligan. That's another story for another time, though.
Are we ever going to get at that story?
It's that every time we do a new episode, that's the new story.
I mean,
That's the story for another time.
Did we even say the name of our show last episode?
Yeah, I said it right off the beginning. It's a JMKast.
I'm glad you know the name of our show. I don't.
It's not my fault that you don't know the name of the company you own.
The company. I said the show.
Well, the podcast company, same thing.
No, they're not.
They're somewhat the
totally
same.
different.
No.
JMK Creative Group.
Oh, okay.
JMKast.
JMK Creative Group presents the JMKast. How's that?
Hey, that sounds kind of clever.
You think we thought that out?
Yeah, we might have thought about someday, like in between.
Are we going to say who we are? I'm going to take a nap when you say your name, though. Go ahead.
Greg T. Johnson.
Oh, you never. Ric Mulligan. He never does it that fast. If you listen to the show, you know he doesn't do it that fast.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
We have guests. We have guests.
I love our guests.
Or are we the guest?
Ooh, well.
Oh, wow.
They're guesting. We're the guests in their studios, but they're the guests on our show. So we're all guests.
At the Workspace Studios.
Love this
in
place.
Garland. It's a really nice facility. We're currently in the office, not the one that was on the TV show, but the office.
Now, this is way cooler than the office.
Well, it depends. Is Jim and Dwight going to be there? Because if they're here, I don't know.
I would. I mean, put them over there in the corner. We can just watch.
Watch them fight each other all the time.
That'd be cool.
Just constantly argue.
Would be cool. So we got Todd Stewart. We got Ed or Edgar.
Whatever you want,
Big
I
E.
answer, hey, you. I
Big E.
answer,
Oh, you're like me. You answered all kinds of names?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
I got all kinds of names.
Edgar Solis.
Yes, sir. That would be me.
Videographer extraordinaire.
So Todd, we kind of went into your story a little bit, and we kind of went into your story. So you told us how you started, but tell us a little bit more about your background, Edgar. You told us about the first job.
Yeah, you told us about 17, 18, but what after that? When you got done making 425.
Yeah.
435. 435.
Yeah.
Sorry, 435.
Yeah, because I got the raise.
You finally went above $5, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now you make more than $5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple bucks more.
Yeah, just a few bucks more.
Okay.
So went from Laredo to the Valley and worked at the CBS there in the Valley. And then a buddy of mine told me about a startup in Austin, Texas. The KBVO was switching over to KI. This was 1995.
God, I was still in high school, dude.
Oh, my God. Thanks for making me feel
I graduated
so
in
old.
96.
Oh, that hurts, bro.
Wait, how old are you?
51.
So you two are the same age.
Yeah.
All three of you guys. I'm the young one.
I think-
I'm never.
No,
the
he's
young one.
younger than
Me
us.
and Edgar, within a month or a couple of weeks, we started at the same place here in Dallas.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm 45, so
I think
No,
you
yeah.
were
That's only
before
5
me,
years.
right? Were you before me or right
Well,
after?
I was a transfer because CBS bought the station.
That's right. Yeah.
And they
Yep.
backdated it to 95. So mine was a transfer. So I was with CBS from 95 to 18. Got injured, had 6 surgeries on my shoulder.
That's fun.
Yeah, bicep, Tommy John, shoulder, rotator
What in
cuff.
the world did you do that you need Tommy John surgery?
he was a pitcher for
wait.
CBS News.
Wait. And then they let me go. They said, thanks for your services. And so,
That's messed up.
yeah. And so anyway, long story short, I operated, construction company. I've always been an entrepreneur, I guess you could say it, because I always dabbled on something. I mean, Greg knows this.
Gotcha.
It's like, I sold cars. I had a construction company. I had, I opened up a
I mean, you were making
textile
$5 an hour.
I was making $5 an hour.
So you got to support yourself somehow.
Got to have a lot of hustles if you're making $5 an hour.
So,
I mean, the TV biz, everyone thinks we're making a ton of money.
No.
but
no, there's no money
Unless
in the
you're,
TV
unless
business.
you're
None at all.
the big
Zero.
name people, but we aren't.
there
We're
is money in
peons.
TV, by the way.
If you're higher up.
Yeah, but honestly, in news, I mean, you're not going to get rich being in the news.
No.
No, you're right.
At least not in what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The editing, the photography.
Yeah.
No, salespeople make money.
I only get mad. It takes a lot to get me mad.
Only to yourself, apparently.
Well, yeah. It takes a lot to get me mad, but when I'm mad, man, it's not fun.
Yeah, I noticed that you are an angry person.
No, I'm not at all.
Hang on.
He
Hang
doesn't
on.
strike
I
me
haven't
as
finished
angry.
my thought, sir. I have not finished my thought.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this.
So
Next week, the Rick and Edgar show.
Greg's enjoying this too much.
that's why. And so I've noticed that we go from, there's no we, Kimosabi. It's just you.
Oh,
Breaking news: Greg quits.
Yes.
No.
It's like, this is the third episode that we shoot here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I will bet you a gentleman's bet.
we already got one of those.
That in every episode you've said, don't get me started about that because I'm going to get mad again.
Oh, 100%. I probably say it every time we do this episode.
Boom.
It's not,
But why?
just.
He's an angry person.
That's
No, I'm
my
not.
whole point.
That's overall, I'm not. I'm not. There's just things that, evidently buttons have been pushed properly.
Yes, sir.
Like, you guys have been like, there's the button, push.
Well, you found it.
There it
I'm going to
is.
put a positive spin on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I think he is self-aware enough to realize it and say, "I'm not going to go there. I'm only going to get mad if I go there."
Fair
So I think
point.
he's actually,
Fair point.
practicing some self-control.
There are definitely times when someone has to
give you the
There's been more than one time that he's done a little tap on the shoulder to be like, or elbow to be like, dude, stop. Because, yeah. But I mean,
I like it.
There's passion there though too. Like, I'm a pretty forgiving person. In fact, I saw somebody post something. I think it was AP posted something on his Facebook yesterday, and it made reference to I'm a good person until you cross me, and I may forgive you, but we will never be the same. And I'm like, that's me 100%. I may forgive you. Doesn't mean that I'm not wrong. That's what he said something in the realm of that.
He did.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I saw that post.
I didn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
verbatim quote, but
No,
I
I
was
saw
close.
that post. AP's.
But
yeah.
don't. I love AP. AP, hands down, the greatest lighting photographer in the business. Top 5.
I think above that,
Good person.
Person.
Best person. I love AP.
he's genuine. And I like what he's done with transforming himself into being one of the greatest stories I've seen, literally in this market, the Green Book.
That's him.
Hands
him and AP
down, bro. One of the best stories I've seen.
We did that together.
Lighting,
everything.
In fact, most of APs we did together.
It was masterful, dude. It was masterful, and I was just like, and I sent him a message. I said, dude, my respect. I could never go in front of the camera like this.
Yeah,
I hate this.
Oh, me too.
Right? I mean, and hate's a strong word.
Ask him how often I look at the cameras. How often my face and head is turned in a way that I'm not looking at the cameras.
Dude, I hate it. I don't. It's not me.
I never look at the cameras.
And I mean, like Greg, you and I, and sorry, Todd, we're going to go down a little bit of memory lane so you can see.
That's all right. Him and I did it earlier.
Yeah, so you can see our calluses when it comes to news. It's like,
it's a great term.
Yeah, it's just, that's it. We have a callus to it. And, from seeing a body to being in the middle of it, we are cool as cucumbers, but then after the fact and after we see the story, it's like, we were in that.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of that.
Yeah.
What were from hurricanes, tornadoes, shootings, chases, but anyway, yeah. So I digress. AP and you did a great job on that story, and I was just, it was touching and moving, and not a lot of news pieces do that nowadays.
Right.
Except Steve Hartman's. Steve Hartman's still by far.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah, that's
though.
his
Yeah,
niche.
Yeah.
However, it's like it's one of those things where you guys killed it, and it was good to see in this age that they gave you, again, back to the producers, gave you that space to be able to tell that story.
It's interesting to me how much AP gets that freedom, because I definitely have seen people in that building that do not get the freedom that he gets, and he's earned it. He absolutely has earned it. But he's so good. He's just so good. Oh,
Yeah.
I would love. I can't wait until the day we can have him on this and just sit down and talk for like 5 hours about his career. Because there's no way. I'm not going to do it now. Where he is where he is, but like to sit down with him and just
might do it.
talk
AP
career.
AP.
Yeah,
Who's
I
AP? I was going to grab the wire.
Who's
AP?
Yeah, AP is a. He started as a news photographer, then a sports guy, and all he's done is sports. But
He started in news.
Yeah, he started.
That's what I'm saying. He was a news guy that went shortly into sports. And
Does he go by his initials? AP.
Arnold Payne.
Yeah.
Arnold Payne.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
And he's big in y'all's industry.
He's
in this
Okay.
market and in the industry of what's the sports world. But most sports worlds, before it used to be that you would travel and follow the team. Now it's like, oh, we'll get a photographer from Chicago to shoot the Cowboys when they're there. The particular station that he works for still devotes that, because the Cowboys are so big. But now he's really reinvented himself to tell sports stories and not just football, basketball. In this case, the Green Book was this book that was published for Afro-Americans to know where.
Is that what the movie is about?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Very
Just
similar,
Just
yeah.
making sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I never saw the movie, but I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the way they did it. I mean, Greg, were you the shooter or the
Editor.
Editor.
Yeah.
The way he.
help.
Yeah, the way
Use
he
it with
edited it, masterful.
And the other one that's amazing that they did recently within the last couple of years was the Vanishing of the Black Caddies at Augusta.
Yeah.
That piece is amazing.
That
Like
piece,
those two.
yeah.
Again, you put those two back to back and you're just like, they're just a different level. It's the storytelling on a different level. Like, they always say the phrase, make them laugh, make them cry. And man, both of those they hit you where you're like, wow.
I mean,
And
just
it's-
before that, we did Jerry LeVias.
Yeah.
Jerry LeVias from SMU.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was almost 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And again, going back to
Did it during
episode
the pandemic.
episode 2, which was the easiest thing to kill is a Vosa on a package because it's set in stone. Like these stories would never get 10 minutes out of a newscast.
I mean, that's a third of the news.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
almost,
have-
actually more than a third.
more than a third. Because you have about
23 and a half.
Well,
something like that.
23 minutes roughly of news. The rest is commercials. Correct me, guys.
Take weather out of the equation, take sports out of the equation, you're down to 17.
17 minutes. So for a story to air 10 minutes and have 7 to tell the rest of the news is just unheard of.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen very often. It's
Wow.
yeah. I love that he has the
Man,
key.
this cable.
It's so
Can we
entertaining.
just get
I'm reduced to a one word.
Can we just get that cable right there and plug it directly there? I think
just-
it'll fit.
Oh yeah, that one.
yeah,
It's
just
that right
it's,
there.
It's
Yeah,
that
grab
one.
that.
I'm going to make the move.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
we're
go.
gonna go for it.
Go
We're
for
gonna
it.
do
Live.
a pause.
We're gonna do a live
Live.
change. It's all good. It's part of the
Live.
show. It's the fun part of the
Yeah.
show to watch it
Sometimes
happen.
you have to change the cable.
and hopefully no one else mic goes
and
out.
I can't whistle a tune because then we might have copyright infringement.
Nah, I think
right?
you're all right. There we go.
Oh,
He's back.
I'm not
Hey,
You know what? That's
creating
not
a bunch
nice
of
of you.
problem for the
What?
editor.
why didn't you offer that up earlier, sir?
He did.
He did.
He did.
that's our cable.
He did. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
He
I've
said,
got extra
"I want
just in
extra."
case. So we're not all dragging across the floor. So it's
So we're
my
dragging,
fault.
we're
I
dragging
didn't.
across the
Yeah,
floor.
I mean, I thought it was going
I
to
did
be
it.
tight. We've kind of moved to where there's not as much.
Well, I think now that I've done a couple episodes with you, I see that it doesn't matter.
I just wanted to, is it terrible? Like, I just want this to be the podcast set from now on. Like, this is what I want to do all the time.
I mean, yeah.
Like, can we just make this our permanent
change your
Let's just do it. Let's just we're just gonna have a conversation
So
every
you
week.
can see what we do. When the cable
Rick-
goes bad,
Rick-
you change it.
Yes.
Yeah, I've noticed cables are the biggest issue in music gear.
Always.
Always.
All the other stuff works just fine.
It's our
Cables.
biggest issue 80% of the time.
Cables.
The thing else,
When we have a
Cable
problem.
companies out there, get the scientists working on that immediately.
No, they're never going to fix them right because they want you to buy more of them. Why do you think HDMI cables suck so much? HDMI cables, I have 8 of them in my bag. 4 of them are no good. And they've only been used a handful of times. And it's because they want you to have to buy more. It's the same thing with these. Why do you think they bring new ones out every year and they die every 3 years? They want you to have to replace them.
Well, do you guys use? I think it's Monster cables for like
Yeah.
guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
If they ever do that, they just replace it.
Ooh.
So it's like a lifetime.
I wonder if
do
they
they
do
do
that
that for
with
audio equipment?
they do for monster cables.
Yeah,
They do.
that still works for y'all stuff. I guess
Yeah.
you could.
Well,
I mean,
the
you're gonna
HDMIs
pay.
do that?
You're gonna pay triple.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
they-
If I
they
know
cost-
it's not
they
going
cost
to, if
3
I know
times
it's not
as
going
much.
to fail on me.
But yeah, but you get them replaced.
All right.
Literally.
We're doing that for our HDMIs. Word of the day. That's his favorite thing to do.
I just like pushing
Of
it.
the day.
That's why he's on the board, not me.
The day.
I like it.
All right. Well, that is now officially word of the day.
Intro music for word of the day.
I mean, since we're talking about it, one of the words was going to be balanced cables.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in
right
this
here.
case, we didn't have one.
balanced cables.
What
Do
is
you-
ba- what is that?
So
Yeah.
there's the difference between balanced. You know the difference balanced cable and then unbalanced.
I have no
cable.
idea.
So it has
Does
to
it
do.
mean that it's grounded?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Look at my smarticles right there.
Wow. You think you got out of 17th grade.
I know that education came in.
His education kicked in right
Yeah,
there.
from the Cigarro a Toros.
What is that?
My high school, bro.
I
We
don't-
talked about the mascot,
I don't-
Toros. Jesus.
I didn't. You said it in Spanish, kind of. And
Toros.
Todos.
Toros.
Bulls in
Yeah,
Spanish.
Yeah, if I see
Do you know what I
Toro-
heard you saying?
Yeah.
Toto. Why are you talking about Toto, dude? What's the Wizard of Oz up to, man?
Oh my god.
Again, I don't have the best hearing.
Don't push that button.
Why not? It's fun.
Yes, it is.
So the official definition, balanced cable, a cable consisting of 3 wires, 2 signal wires, and a ground wire, and 2 connectors. The 2 signal wires carry the same signal in opposite polarities, providing protection against interference and noise in a balanced system. Examples of balanced cables include tip ring sleeve, TRS, stereo cables, and XLR cables.
Which is what these are.
Yeah. So that's what a balanced cable is.
What
I
is,
learned stuff
what
on
does
this show
XLR
every day.
mean?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. What does it
I have
stand
no idea.
for?
I'm not going to try
I'm
to
waiting.
pretend I know.
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
I was fully
Where's our-
expecting it. Do we want
where's
to
our
research
research
like-
department?
So, yeah, do we need to pause
We have a-
for the research department?
I was expecting it.
Stand by.
I was expecting it to be.
You notice I'm pointing at people I know are not there. Where's our research department?
Come on.
Can you get? Thank you.
Come on.
I was expecting that to be one of those things where
No
you're
one
like,
there.
where you're like, hey, I'm going to make a bet, and you're like, what's the bet? And I'm like, I can lick my eye, and you're like, I'll take that bet. Don't ever make a bet with someone that says they can do that. You know why? Because they're going to take their eye out and lick it.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
You know, someone's got a fake
What
eye or
the
something.
heck?
Like, don't ever make a bet with someone who says they can do something.
So our second word.
You
Oh,
ready?
hang on. He's got XLR.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
XLR, right? External line return.
Boom.
We all just learned something.
Shouldn't it be
We all just learned something.
External.
stands
They
for
they
Shouldn't be
remove the
ELR.
E and just put XLR.
They wanted it to sound cooler.
Yeah, because ELR.
Yeah.
Not
It's
as
like
cool.
ESL.
It's not as cool as XLR.
It's not as cool.
All right. What's word number 2?
I guess we're gonna have 3 now.
That's all right.
Because we officially slipped in XLR,
That's
the
all right.
definition of XLR, which we
Edgar's
haven't
gotta get
done.
in there.
Yeah, Edgar's.
All right. What's the third one?
The
then?
new ADR.
Oh,
ADR.
I hate ADR.
What is
I don't
ADR?
ever have to do it.
I don't know.
ADR is when you record audio live and then have to like re-record it later, typically.
Yeah, like on a movie set
So-
when they have to re-record.
So
it
they
in
do
a
their
studio.
lines, like when Hugh Jackman's like running through the forest, and he's like and he's doing all that stuff, and then they replay the thing for him. He watches him, and he does it again. He has to do the yelling and the screaming again. So it typically happens when audio is bad, so they have them
clean it
ADR.
up.
They,
Yep.
so they record it in a sound studio.
Automatic dialogue replacement.
Yeah.
That's
So
official.
that's ADR.
Nice.
So
I've never had to do that, fortunately.
there you go. Word of the day.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think what movie it was that I can't remember. It was one recently where they had ADR the entire thing. Yeah, oh, here's an interesting one from ADR. The movie Greystoke.
Avatar.
Avatar. Well, that was animation. But the movie Greystoke had, I'm drawing a total blank on her name. The actress did all her lines, whatever, and then they had Glenn Close dub her dialogue. So Glenn Close's voice is on the actress's.
What?
Yeah, hang on. I got to pull it up and who it is. I can't remember her name. It's going to drive me
Research
nuts.
team.
I know.
Go ahead and point
I
at
can
the-
picture. I
Todd,
can picture.
point at the research team. You've been pointing
Oh
at
yeah,
the
I'm
research
sorry.
team.
Could you guys look that
Yeah,
up?
thank you.
I
Thank
loved
you.
that movie as a kid.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Latte.
Can you fill my cup up, please?
Yes.
I'm a package.
Yeah, it was Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, and it was from '84. Andy McDowell. So Andy McDowell's in the movie, but it's Glenn Close's voice
I never knew that.
I never knew that.
because
either.
the director didn't like her voice, and they were
Wow.
too far into production.
Wow.
That they couldn't do anything. So afterwards, they hired Glenn Close to dub all her lines, and Andy McDowell was like she was not happy. But it's like your face. I mean, but yeah.
It's
You
you.
So
have
they
a
had
great
ADR.
face,
So they had
Todd.
ADR Glenn Close over all of Andy McDowell's lines.
Wow.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I've heard that too many times.
Yep.
So back to weird mascots.
Yay, weird mascots. We're returning from episode 1.
Yes.
Yes. Because I have a phone now. Research. Thank you for
Research.
bringing
Yeah,
that
the
phone
research team, thank
phone
you.
for me. So there's the Hutto hippos,
Do you know where Hutto is?
somewhere south.
Close to Austin. It's
Hutto hippos.
it's next to Buda.
The Calhoun sand crabs.
That one's awesome. I love that
I
one.
assume that's somewhere on a beach.
What do you got? Todd's
area,
looking like he had something there.
Marshall's here. I was just opening the garage door for him.
Oh,
Who, by the way, is the guy who built that studio
Oh, okay.
across the way. He's the original dude,
Oh, nice.
musician.
So there's
And by the way, he likes to go to the state fair dressed as Big Tex.
Oh. Used to know
He's
Big Tex.
6'11", so he
Oh, yeah.
everybody wants their picture taken
Holy
with him. It's
cow.
really funny. So,
I used to know the guy that was the voice.
The voice
Big
of
Tex.
speaking of 6'11",
do you make
come on
him-
in, man.
Marshall.
There he is.
How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm tempted to make you sit down and put a mic on.
Yeah, bro.
Do we have an extra mic?
No, but he can
No.
take my place.
Switch out.
Yeah, come on, bro. Marshall,
The man
come on
himself.
in.
Marshall's coming in.
How you doing?
Coming in hot, Marshall.
Stranger in the night.
Okay.
Stranger.
I want to hear about the studio that you put in back in the day.
Oh, he's the original.
OG.
Yeah, so go ahead and pull that mic.
Yep.
Kind of pull that mic in a little bit.
Pull it a little closer to the.
I'm gonna raise it.
Yeah, perfect. Do what you got to do. Yeah, being 6'11", it's kind of what you got to do, right?
Yeah, let's see if I remember how to operate one of these things. I'm rusty.
It's kind of fun to watch someone struggle with something.
Yeah, I've been holding babies too long. Been out of
Everything's too short. It's a terrible burden.
There
Everything's
we
too
go.
short.
Look at that.
There you go.
Now you can hear
Okay,
me.
so Marshall, correct?
Yes.
Last name?
Marshall is my last name.
Oh,
Yes, Marshall. No, Richard Marshall.
Richard
But yeah,
Marshall.
Everybody
All right.
calls me Marshall
all right. That works.
because I'm really not a dick. You know, I'm really,
I do call him Dick sometimes. Hey, Dick, how you doing?
sometimes, yeah. He can call me. Yeah. Family. Yeah, you're
yeah.
a family. Trust tree.
Well, welcome to the JMKast. I'm Rick. This is Greg.
Great to meet
we
you.
threw Edgar out because he was pushing buttons.
I don't blame you. Hey, it's all right.
This is a first. A
Instigator.
Yeah, we've
switcheroo
never
in
done a
the middle
switch
of
before.
episode.
So Todd told us earlier when you had built the studio over there.
Yes, with my bare hands.
Please talk to me about
And some-
the
and some
concept of
employees.
putting this into a
Storage unit.
Oh, where do we start? The incarnation has always been in my head of everywhere I've ever lived. There's been studio space. So my parents were both musicians. My dad did lessons of all sorts. So I grew up with a basement just full of gear.
Okay.
And most of it is migrated to here or everywhere. It's like the traveling Marshall and the Gear. Just load up the wagons.
That's
It's like the
awesome.
circus is coming to town.
Is that the name of your band, Marshall and the Gear? Because that's a great band name. That's a great band name.
Well, maybe we do. Y'all play, or we
I
just
don't.
start a band right now. No, but it. So I was living in Uptown, and I had a little studio space where I was living. Kind of like the living room was the board, and
Okay.
I took the laundry room, jacked out the washer and dryer, and made that a sound booth. And the dining room was a drum space.
that's
So I just took
awesome.
this old 1900s home I was living in, and just I just got to have that space. So met Todd, and not long after I moved down here, probably 10 years ago, and he had this space, and I started a little construction business. I've always been in the trade. That's kind of my day job. And needed a space to do that, and then it just the first thought is where we're going to put the studio. I was like,
I love it that that's your first thought. Not
they
should
rent an
we do it,
office.
is where are we going to do it?
Not for business.
not for business,
but
yeah.
for the studio.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, if we're going to be here a lot, we need a drum set, in the
Oh,
back.
that's awesome.
So
And a PA, and keyboards.
we have no shortage of gear. So we're the little office across the way here. It started out with little, I don't know, what are those 20 by 20 space, and then the way these buildings are is just you can go for days behind you.
Right.
So we're like, well, wait, Todd, what if we take the next 30 feet? Control room here, sound booth.
Oh, that's awesome.
So me and at the time Z was working with me. She was my little bookkeeper, office girl. We were doing some jobs and all that. So and she was a drummer. So like on nights and weekends, we'd sit up here and buy a little bit of material and be like, all right, we'll frame some walls up, and then we'd run out of money and we'd go do some real work and get some money
that's so
and
funny.
get insulation. Like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then
How long did y'all build that studio out?
is
over?
it done technically? Is it still in progress? Is it ever done?
It's far enough along to use, but
I feel like
never done.
God, it was probably a 3-year
It took a while for
to
it
get, but really the story is like when the board showed up, the Soundcraft,
Right.
the big. So the guy I played band with, he's retired, IT tech guy, Datacom. I don't know, made money in the '80s, retired early, but played rock and roll band.
Okay.
He found this board, so he's the technical expert
Gotcha.
of the family, the space, the studio space. So Scott, when he found the board, it came out of Massachusetts, somewhere in the Boston area.
Okay.
He sorted it out. He's like, this is the board that they recorded, Bohemian Rhapsody on, not this exact board,
Right.
but that model, like
That would be
this
cool.
is the drum board, like this is made for sound. I mean, a big track of it, and we're all kind of analog, old school guys.
Gotcha.
So it's like we want to play rock and roll drums. Like you got to have the drums. We don't.
Sure.
We don't want this little button you hit.
Yeah, you don't want the drum
and there's,
button, yeah.
Chad from Long Island with a vibey feel, playing in the box. No, we want, the drunk real Chad behind the drum set, sloppy, missing the beat. We don't want this, rhythmic, perfect little, like a lot
that's
of the
awesome.
guys use, the stuff, the samples and all that stuff in the computer. It's like, no, we want a studio. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. You'll never make money. Nobody does this stuff. Everybody, they have a computer in their living room, and that's how you make music. This is an old school idea.
So what?
Yeah. Why do you? So we're like, we don't care. This is what we want to do. We have no intention
so
of making
cool.
any money out
And
of
we're
this.
still
deal.
asking ourselves why.
Yeah.
And we still have not made any
Yeah.
money.
Exactly. So it's like we set the expectations extremely low. Like it was really a personal project. I don't know. It was a piece of
Has to
art,
be.
really,
Has to
kind of deal. It was just
Where
like,
do we put all of our equipment? Where do we jam and not make our neighbors mad or
Yeah.
make our wives tired of hearing the same song over and over again? So we had to put the gear somewhere.
we needed a space.
We need a place to make noise.
And it just all came together. We finally got it finished. The glass we ordered. We did our best to make it legit. We ordered the 3-layer thick glass. Got a glass guy to make it. And we had to order one sheet at a time. We're like, all right, saved up enough money. Like we're buying the glass. We're getting one piece.
Oh, that's too funny.
And come in and we learned a lot. I definitely would. It changed design quite a few times before we got to drywall. Like we moved framing. Todd would just walk in one day what is this? What did you? The walls are here. The bathroom's gone. The things like, I didn't
bring it up.
We just
I didn't bring
that
up
was
the
a hot
bathroom. You
topic.
did.
That was a hot topic for a minute. 8 years ago.
I'm over it.
He was like, it was like,
There was a bathroom.
Yeah, there was a
here.
second bathroom in that office warehouse that I had just spent like $5,000, like completely renovating and getting it up nice and pretty again. And I walk in and it was leveled. It was gone.
Are you serious?
It was just gone. It was just gone.
it just didn't work.
There was a hole in the floor with like a rag where the toilet was. I'm like, edit that out.
Yeah.
Didn't work with the feng shui.
I got
That's
over
too
it.
funny.
He did get over it, but it was fun. It was a blast. And it's still like now coming back here, my life's changed. Got babies at home and family and all that. So I was ready to move. I was going to move in the back. Remember? I mean, I'd moved my bed up here. And that kind of expedited the studio space because the space I was in, landlord passed and it was kind of up in the air. I didn't know where I was going to stay. So I was like, well, I need a place to live. I was like, I'll just camp out with Todd. Surprise. And I was like literally like within weeks of moving in, and I met my now wife, and she saved me and rescued me from
She saved you from living in a storage unit?
Yes. She's like still to this day she reminds me of that. She's like,
That's funny.
before you met me, you'd be living up there with Todd, and God knows what you would be.
That's true.
But
Probably true. She's
but
probably right.
the best thing happened. But
Once he met Whitney, he suddenly became so much cooler. It was amazing.
But it is when a girl likes you. I've noticed that with women, I became way more cool. Like girls be at the bar, and girls that waited on you before, they all of a sudden looking at you different. We be out playing gigs, and the waitresses.
Yeah, 'cause you're now not available, and they're
Right.
like, wait a
longer,
minute. They're like,
yeah.
a lot of found women like guys that can commit, and that's attractive to them.
Well, and they think they missed out. They're like, well, I've known him, and I got serious
Right.
girls. They're like, why are you talking to me all of a sudden? They're like. Yeah, and she's like, what? There's a girl who's into you. Like, what did I miss? They're like that primal territorial.
It's
thing,
weird how that
like-
works, isn't it?
They're like, wait.
And she's way out of his league, so
Extremely.
he's not going anywhere. He's
Oh, yeah, kicked your coverage.
She's way cooler.
Outweigh,
than
yeah.
him.
Way
that's-
outkicked your coverage.
She's
Well, I don't
way-
know if we can cuss on this podcast, but when you F up, you need to F up. You need to go all the
Right,
way up. And
yeah,
I hit
I
my
gotcha.
level of there's nothing. I can't top.
Went
this.
all in. It was
Lock
like
it.
he's like, this is
Yeah.
it, Todd. This is it. I'm like,
Like-
I think you're right, dude. I think you're
This
smart.
This
Yeah.
is
Smartest decision you
Yeah.
ever made. Awesome.
It compromised the studio. I've had to spare my time and don't make it up here as much. But no offense, guys, that she's way cooler than y'all.
No offense taken.
I mean, I would say though, for if you're going to be living in a storage unit, I mean, it's not exactly
It ain't so
terrible.
bad, yeah.
Like,
It's not so bad.
I mean, there's a fridge with an ice maker.
Oh yeah,
There's a coffee
I mean, it's
machine.
a real
And
apartment. It's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just any old storage unit.
I mean, you don't really have the
It's
best
true.
couch to sleep on, but I mean, if you had to,
Like I said, I think he was going to throw a bed in the middle of the lobby over there.
it's so
I was
fun.
gonna
you would
figure it out. I was just wild and free. I had nothing. Just wanted to rock and roll, play music, and
There's padding on the wall.
but it.
And then it grew.
I
from
feel
there.
like
It
since the last
expanded.
time I was here, have there been more women around here? Because it feels like the nicer it gets, that usually a woman's involved, or to attract a woman. It's like we joked about it for this space for a long time. We're just like, if we can make it cool enough that women, girls, women, whatever, like
it. If they like it.
that's a big, big
Because they care way more about the
You're
interior
there.
than the exterior.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they want things to look nice.
They don't care if the outside looks nice because they're not.
They want it to
looking
be
at it.
clean. They want it to be pretty. It makes them comfortable.
So how do they find you, Todd?
So when people book with us, either through the workspacemanagement.com, the MGMT, or the Peerspace, that's when then we'll give them all the info and.
And how many rooms or different environments are there? Two, possibly.
Three major, and then this one obviously for podcasts and tiny desk style recordings like live recordings.
And then we've got
four
this,
main
you've
areas.
got the photo space with like the psych wall, the white wall, the black wall, green wall.
That's
if you need
right.
it, and then the recording studio, and then there's the concert venue.
The venue that's set up for. We upgraded all that to do live recording, so it's got the Midas digital boards. So
Oh, okay.
everything can be individually tracked and post mixed. So that's one of the things we did specifically. And then so the three main studios. This studio, then we have the big outdoor area that we've converted with tents and tables
Gotcha.
and transformed that into an outdoor
And of
party
course,
scene.
thanks to this fellow right here, we have an actual full fully loaded recording studio.
Yeah, baby.
Complete. Yeah. In fact, you probably haven't seen it in a minute. So
I know. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see
upgrades.
the upgrades. It's been great to see. The torch has been. It takes a family or a community or a village, whatever you want to do for one of these things to work.
Right.
I mean, you need. You can soldier it along. For like we did. It takes a team. It takes a team.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to go anywhere.
You
Since I'm here every day. I work here.
Sure.
But it's been great to see.
So yeah, I wasn't going anywhere, but I was. There's no way that I could see destroying that studio. So let's just try to.
Like you did your bathroom.
That's right. He just knew to just
return the favor.
he just turned it. He didn't even put that in there. It was
I had
good.
to. I kind of had to insert my dominance. Hey, I'm here. I'm coming in. I'm coming hot.
Wait, and thank you, Greg, for that dig on the way out. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks
Always
for joining
on the
us.
way out.
Marshall, thank you for sitting in.
Yes.
Todd, thank you.
Thanks for
Edgar, off camera, thank you.
Yeah, Edgar's still here. He just
He's our
gave up
research
his chair.
department. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Until next time.
Bye.